Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with another video of World of Warships, and in this video I will be featuring the tier 10 Japanese cruiser, which is right now available for 10,000 festive tokens in this anniversary event, and obviously that is Kushiro. Now, in my opinion, it is a very good cruiser. I will explain some of the strengths of Kushiro, and we're also gonna give you the verdict of mine at the end, whether it is worth it or not. But TLDR is that it is actually pretty good and also very unique in a way that it gets the exhaust smoke generator that you find on the tier 10 Tech 3 cruiser Venezia. Now, it does have Ubuki guns, 10 of them. It does also have 360-degree turrets, which means that you can turn turrets, the back turrets, from left to right with ease. And in kiting positions, they can be very comfortable to use. Yes, you do have the Ibuki guns, just like I said. That means that its alpha damage is slightly worse than Zao. Its, I would say the shell velocity is slightly worse than Zao. But honestly, the DPM numbers, if you can see, the reload time is 9.7 seconds, which gets as equivalent in terms of DPM numbers as you can compare it with Zao. But however, what it does not have compared to Zao in terms of the gun department, that is going to be the dispersion pattern. It does have a cruiser dispersion pattern, which means that tight dispersion grouping of the shells that you find on Zao, that is kind of missing. And for these trade-offs, Ibuki guns and shell velocity is not super amazing. It's not still too bad, to be honest. You can still use them very comfortably, but I mean Zao does have better. But it gets something in return, which is exhaust smoke generator, which I find it to be very, very powerful. In fact, you are getting 5 of them, and they last for 30 seconds base, slightly worse than Venezia, but I would say they are still pretty much worth it. And notice you do also have 10 torpedoes on each side, like the IGN ones, very hard hitting, decent reaction time, and also very decent speed at 76 knots. And you will eventually see that if you can play aggressive with the help of exhaust smoke generator, in this case I have used my division mate's La Pampa smoke. Otherwise I would have easily used the exhaust smoke generator, which basically gives it so much survivability that you find it very, very comfortable in many positions. Honestly, you can play it like an aggressive Zao. I'm not gonna say Zao because the guns are different. The hull is different. It does have a Takahashi hull, which is something that you find on the tier 10 Yodo line. The Takahashi at tier 9 have the same hull that you find on this tier 10 Kushiro. But it still does not matter. You can turn out kite away. It does have 30mm side and deck. Some of the area of the superstructure is still quite a lot. And also it does have a vulnerable citadel, which you will find out that the Sun Yat-sen, she shoots at me, he does also overmatch me with 457. So if you do these sort of mistakes, you can go easily into the port, for sure. Like in this case, I shot broadside, he got a citadel on me, but still, the best part about the Kushiro is that even you don't have a lot of, I would say, HP maybe at the late game, if you do have smokes, you can use them. It's having really cooldown, sort of good cooldown time of 105 seconds with my build. You can really use these into your advantages. And by the way, it does have better smoke firing penalty of, I would say, 7.6, which is pretty impressive. To have some comparison of the Kushiro main battery firing guns in smoke, you do have the Venezia that does have, I think, 9.9 kilometer smoke firing penalty, so it's better in Kushiro compared to Venezia. And even if we compare it with Napoli, which by the way does also have I think 8.9 kilometer or something like that, Kushiro has superior smoke firing penalty, which means you can play aggressive. This Kushiro really loves to play aggressive, and if you make it work, utilize the smokes, as you can see, you can always play aggressive. You use the smoke and kite away. You push in again and try to still kite away once you pop the smoke once again. So it's the same aggression. You push in hard, okay, and then you get spotted, you basically smoke up. Unless you're going to get into a radar, which can be a grave mistake because then your smoke generator will be nullified and someone can smash you while you trying to kite away. Unless that happens, this smoke will just guarantee you to stay disengaged. And a destroyer will struggle to even spot you and basically trigger that smoke firing penalty just because that it has really good 7.6 kilometer smoke firing detection. And then you can basically farm in this way that I'm doing. You basically farm in the smokes. You should and must use smokes at all cost. You will eventually see if you have used all 5 smokes, then I can guarantee, and I can literally guarantee you that you can easily rack up 100k damage. Just by staying in the smoke, you can easily rack up at least 100k damage with some fire RNG helping you in return as well. And as you can see, you do have 17% fire chance. You do have 3.6k alpha, slightly worse than Zao. The shell velocity can be slightly arcier. The dispersion might be a bit wonkier because it's not like super tight Zao DD dispersion, but it's not bad whatsoever. The penetration number is still good. Yes, the AP performance is also gonna suffer a bit, but I don't think so it's too bad. And I have really, and I'm not gonna lie, I have really enjoyed Kushiro. It's a fresh and very refreshing sort of gameplay of aggressive Zao that you cannot get in this ship, or at least you cannot get in Zao. You can get this in this sort of a ship because of the exhaust smoke generator, but you cannot do this in Zao. And I find this to be very good, right? You push in, these battleships are struggling to kite away. As long as there is a good destroyer play in front of you giving that vision, you basically farm like Zao, but slightly worse, but still the DPM numbers are still the same. It does, if you really look at the DPM numbers of the Kushiro has 227k HE DPM. I think Zao has, like, with the reload mod, this is one thing that I have to say, with the reload mod, which Zao does not use. Zao with that reload mod gets 225k. Okay, so usually when you are not using that legendary mod, then maybe use reload mod on the Zao, but you always use range. And the good thing about the Kushiro is that it also has slightly improved range, and you also do have spotter plane. So they haven't really, nerfed anything. Like, I would say they didn't negate the spotting aircraft consumable from the Kushiro, which is again such a good thing. You can extend the main battery firing range pretty comfortably at around 20 kilometers. And I mean, if you have more than 20 kilometer range, the shells will be so arcier, then it's not going to be worth it in any way or form. Okay, so yeah, I find it really good. If you have any opportunity to purchase this cruiser for yourself, I think it's very much worth it. It does have really good utility. You can actually sometimes play aggressive. Maybe if there's a battleship behind the island and you do have the exhaust smoke generator, what you can really do, you can stay disengaged for 30 seconds or maybe slightly more by using the exhaust smoke generator, push into that battleship and make sure to use these torpedoes maybe in close quarters, and you are going to guarantee yourself a devastating strike on that enemy battleship because you have closed your distance too much. And then with the help of exhaust smoke, you can also have the hydro, which Venezia and Napoli does not. So you can make so many aggressive plays in Kushiro where you cannot do that on Zao at all. Zao have to suffer a lot. I mean, the hull performance is relatively similar. Sometimes it's slightly worse, but most of the time it can be usable and doable. I don't think so it's such a bad situation for the Kushiro. Yes, the Zao can be sometimes tankier because it's, again, at the end, the Takahashi hull. It is definitely sluggish as well. Like, this is a long ship, so if you turn out and broadside, the turning circle is not going to help you, and you're going to have a lot of shells get landed if someone has really good vertical dispersion. Okay, so that's where Kushiro can suffer. And also, I would say this is the small nitpicking. Kushiro maybe against cruisers at long ranges that are very maneuverable cruisers, well, sometimes you might have a difficult time landing shells. Now, like in this case, I have a potato aim. That's definitely my mistake. I'm just not able to just aim that UrAvgWar perfectly, even though it's in around 10 kilometers. But if you do have a good aim, I don't think so it's going to be wrong in any way or form. Now in this case, he was broadsiding, so finally I got some shell hits, got 3 kills. It's also, by the way, not super amazing game, but I have played some games and I find Kushiro to be very, like, it is the super comfortable ship or a cruiser in my opinion. I think this is really sort of a meta cruiser with the help of the exhaust smoke generator. And if you want to set fires rather than having that insane alphas with the sap that you do on Venezia, I think Kushiro will be a very good and interesting take on the alternate Zao. That's what I really believe when I have played the Kushiro. It's like the alternate breath of fresh air, kind of like Zao, but better in survivability, like vastly better in survivability in my opinion. So I don't think so you can get any wrong with that. Like, you do have all the consumables, you do have the airstrikes. Yes, you don't have the submarine surveillance. Now this is something which is a downside, but honestly, if the Kushiro gets submarine surveillance along with the exhaust smoke generator, that would be crazy for a submarine. Like, that submarine would be just ridiculously badly countered. Like, that would be such a pain in the neck for that submarine to deal against Kushiro, but they haven't done that. But this is what Kushiro really is. I have a very simple game. I just got 5 kills luckily. I got a death strike on a Harugumo. I don't think so. It's a ship that you should miss. Honestly, you should not miss that ship. Maybe super containers might be good, but remember, super container does have a very least chance of giving you a premium ship or even a rare ship, unless you do have tons of them at the lower tiers. If you do have fill up the tier 5 to tier 7 ships in your port, then maybe you can decide for yourself to buy super containers. Otherwise, Kushiro, if you do have a lot of ships in your port and you do look forward to buy this ship, I think you should think once again. This ship is really worth it, and it's an epic ship. I don't think so this will be available later on, because how much powerful that exhaust smoke generator really is. I will go into the captain skills, upgrades, and final, I would say, give you a opinion and thought at the end. So yeah, keep watching the video. Alright, so I would like to give you the overview, some stats idea of the Kushiro itself. And let's talk about something which is going to be the consumables. Now this is the best part of the Kushiro. It's definitely trading out the guns. I mean, it does not have Zao guns. It does have Ibuki guns. You do have 10 of them, but the DPM number is still very good. 225 kg DPM, and if I really compare it with Zao, which I will show you right now, and so as you can see, I do have the Zao guns now, and you can see the DPM number 196 kg DPM because I'm using the leg mod. Now the leg mod gives you the main battery firing range to 17.5 kilometer. With the leg mod you get improved main battery firing range and better shell dispersion, which is better onto the already destroyed dispersion built into the Zao. So yeah, it gets a lot of value with the dispersion mod. It gets super duper tight grouping. 127 meter shell dispersion at 17.5 kilometer. That is something that Zao does have as a big advantage, and also the slightly better shell velocity. But on the other hand, Kushiro, if you look at the Kushiro, it's not too far. As you can see here, we do have the Kushiro, and I'm using the same commander like I'm using on Zao, which is again a good thing. I will go to the captain skills, but let's talk about the hull itself. You can see the armor layout, 30mm deck, 30mm side. It does have some areas where you find more superstructure, which can be penned by DDs and cruisers easily. But I mean, cruisers at T tier farm you quite a lot, and you do have 25mm bow. So at close quarters, it will definitely gonna struggle. It also do have a big citadel. Yeah, as you can see from here, it's definitely raised up, and that's why when you have seen my replay of the Kushiro, that's, I would say, Sun Yat-sen able to do citadel from here. So it's vulnerable broadside, just like Takahashi really. But you do also have one more problem, that is the turrets. These turrets having really bad armor, and I find these turrets to get knocked out very, very quickly. But the good thing is that we do have the, I would say, implementation of the turrets not breaking at all or ever in the game. They will definitely going to get incapacitated. Maybe you will get, maybe for a short time, knocked out after incapacitation, but you will definitely gonna be recovering and you can use these turrets back, which is a really good thing. So the DPM numbers is good. The concealment is also pretty decent. Again, I have really not so good concealment because I am currently using the IFAG. I will get to the captain skills, but yeah, the best thing is that you have exhaust smokes and you can also really prevent strikes from aircraft carriers. So if you find yourself in a very tough spot, you can always smoke up, which you always do in Venezia, but you can do 5 times. So you do have a lot of get out of jail free cards along with the hydro, so no fear of torpedoes. And then you do have the spotting aircraft, and I'm using the eye in the sky skill, which does help a lot. You just get this range if you want to at demand, which I would say is a very nice thing when you are using that skill. Okay, so these are the upgrades. As you can see, I'm using aiming system mod 1. However, it does have a cruiser dispersion, and if you don't use aiming system mod 1, you can use exhaust, or I would say smoke generator mod 1, which does improve the smoke curtain, or yeah, smoke curtain generator action time. So it will definitely gonna buff the exhaust smoke generator. Okay, if you use it, your action time can go up to almost 40 seconds. Again, something that can be very useful, but your dispersion will get even slightly worse. Sure, you can do that, totally up to you, but I'm using aiming system mod 1. Let's go to the captain skills, and I find this to be very, very viable. I'm using the superintendent. I would like to have extra heal. I would like to get a lot of consumables, so superintendent is must. And by the way, I haven't talked about that. You do get a lot of HP. You do have better HP than Zhao. I think Zhao has 49k HP. Kushiro has 57k HP, so it does have better survivability in terms of HP pool. Concealment, using the adrenaline rush is must, and then this I think heavy HE and sap shells will be amazing because you do have exhaust smoke generator. Always literally can disengage whenever you want is such a blessing in Kushiro that it's really highly recommended ship in my opinion to buy, just because of that insane consumable in the game. And then again, grease the gears, consumable specialist, and incoming firing alert. Something that will just buff these consumables a lot, improving its reload time, and also getting the reload time if you want to. So that is what really Kushiro is. I think at the end I will give you my final verdict. My opinion is it is a very good cruiser. I loved it, I enjoyed playing it, and I think since it's a rare ship, it's having the epic status symbol. I'm not gonna say you get into the FOMO, fear of missing out, and just simply buy it, don't get anything else. I'm not saying that. I am saying that if you have any opportunity to get 10,000 festive tokens, I think this is the ship that you should not miss. I think this does have, I think, some potential in, I would say, even clan battles. I mean, it can be a good replacement compared to Napoli, maybe, but Kushiro can perform sometimes well. Yes, you do have like 8-kilometer torpedoes, which can be a bit of a bummer, and you can only use them aggressively, but if you use them, they can work. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope that you reconsider buying Kushiro, maybe, but I would say just buy this ship. If you have any festive tokens, I would say spare, because it's worth it. In my opinion, it's a very good cruiser. I loved it. It's very survivable, somewhat tanky because of those, again, consumables that you get. Oh, sorry guys. So yeah, take it guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I just had my mic tilted into the the keyboard. Unfortunately, that's why you might see some of the noise as well, so I apologize for that. So take care guys, and peace out.